Hey everybody, this is Charlie Jakes again. I'm from Advantage Sales. We are a wholesaler of rigging supplies, and today this training is about chains that are rated for overhead lifting. By overhead lifting, we pretty much mean anything that you lift off the ground, even if it's just above your toe. OSHA makes no distinction between a load landing on your foot and a load landing on your head. So if it breaks the plane of the earth, it's an overhead lift. There are two types of chains. There are chains that are rated for overhead lifting and chains that are not. Anything with an 80 or a 100 or a 120 in their grade numbering is rated for overhead lifting. Anything other than that, grade 70, grade 43, grade 30, those are not rated for overhead lifting. Let's talk a little bit about what makes 80 and 100 and 120 rated for overhead lifting. First of all, that's not my law, that's OSHA and ASME's law. They've decided that the alloy steel is the appropriate thing for safety. The safety ratio is 4 to 1. So if it rates at 7,100 pounds like 3/8 grade 80 does, it's going to have a minimum tensile break strength of 28,400 pounds. We never use break strength for our calculation when lifting a load. It's there to help you stay safe so that if there's a shock load or a swinging load or a side load, that you don't get hurt. How do you know you're looking at a piece of grade 80, grade 100, or grade 120 chain? You have the right to know what that chain is. So if it has a 4 or a 43 or a 40, it's a high test chain. If it has a 7 or a 70, it's a transport chain. Those are not, if it has no markings on it, that's probably proof coil. You do not want to use those for overhead lifting. It must have an 8, an 80, a 10, a 100, or a 12, or a 120 on there for it to be legal to be used as an overhead lift. When looking at a rated for overhead lifting chain, you always want to look for a tag. It's going to give you your capacities that are safe to lift. Next, I want to talk about the nomenclature that's used for chain slings. You'll see things like SGG, SOS, and those are very simple. If you read the Easy Guide, it'll explain it all to you. Each letter has a meaning. SOS would mean single leg, oblong on one end, and a sling hook on the other end. An SGG would be a single leg with grab hooks on both ends. A DOS would mean that at the top you'd have an oblong ring, and at the bottom you would have 2 sling hooks. And then there's TO and QO, and then you could have grab hooks, or you could have sling hooks, or you could have self-locking hooks, or you could have foundry hooks. There's lots of different ways we can do a chain sling. This is an example of 6 SGGs that are ready to go out the door. This is an example of an AQOS. Now what does A mean? A means adjustable. So at the top by the O, or oblong, with sub-assemblies on it, we have grab hooks. Now each one of these legs can be shortened to make your chain sling exactly what you need and still be rated. So it goes A, Q for quad, O for the oblong at the top, and S down here. The A is adjustable, meaning there's 4 adjuster hooks at the top, and there are 4 sling hooks at the bottom. When using a multi-leg sling, different variables come into effect. Because you're lifting with 2, 3, or 4 points, you have to calculate your lift angle. Okay, so if we have a 2-legger that has a space between it of 10 feet, there's 180 degrees in a triangle, so your legs to make 60 degrees would have to be 10 feet long. So it would be 10 leg, 10 leg, and 10 in between. Now, if you make those legs shorter and bring it down, it can come down to 45, which it's also rated at, and 30. If you will look in the Easy Guide, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Once you get to 30, you can't go below 30. There's no rating for any chains below 30-degree lift angle. That's a very flat angle. The 60 makes it about like that. And that's the same for triple leg and quadruple leg. As always, refer to your Advantage Sales Easy Guide for fabricated products, because this is a really good picture-based book that's going to help you order the proper stuff. As always, if we produce the product correctly, it's non-returnable. And that's the same with every Slingshop in America. So make sure of what you're ordering. So we're talking about chain brands and the differences between chain brands. The main thing that you want to know is that your rigging professional, the person who's selling you this product, is going to try to get you with the best product they can. Most of the brands perform pretty much the same way. A grade 100 chain is a grade 100 chain, though some people will tell you differently. It's all pretty much to the same specifications, same braking load, minimum braking loads, and so forth. So if you have any questions, you can call Advantage Sales at 800-216-2183 and talk to your salesman about any questions you might have. We're here to help you. Thank you.